Welcome to Learn with Rensha, Learning English channel.
Go. I went to the park yesterday. I was going to the park when it started raining. I had gone to the park before it started raining. I had been going to the park every day before it rained. Eat. She ate an apple this morning. She was eating an apple when I called her. She had eaten an apple before she left home. She had been eating apples every morning before she got sick. Play. They played football yesterday. They were playing football when it started to rain. They had played football before the coach arrived. They had been playing football for an hour before it started to rain. Write. He wrote a letter yesterday. He was writing a letter when the phone rang. He had written a letter before he went to bed. He had been writing letters all morning before lunch. Read. I read a book yesterday. I was reading a book when the lights went out. I had read the book before the teacher asked questions. I had been reading the book for 2 hours before dinner. Watch. We watched a movie last night. We were watching a movie when the doorbell rang. We had watched the movie before our friends arrived. We had been watching movies all evening before dinner. Study. She studied English yesterday. She was studying English when I called. She had studied English before the test. She had been studying English for 2 hours before dinner. Visit. We visited the zoo last weekend. We were visiting the zoo when it started raining. We had visited the zoo before our cousins came. We had been visiting the zoo for an hour before lunch. Clean. He cleaned his room yesterday. He was cleaning his room when I arrived. He had cleaned his room before guests came. He had been cleaning his room all morning before lunch. Cook. She cooked dinner last night. She was cooking dinner when the phone rang. She had cooked dinner before her friends arrived. She had been cooking dinner for 2 hours before the guests came. Walk. I walked to school yesterday. I was walking to school when it started raining. I had walked to school before my friend arrived. I had been walking to school every day before the rain. Run. He ran very fast this morning. He was running when it started raining. He had run before breakfast. He had been running for an hour before the rain started. Drink. She drank water after the game. She was drinking water when I arrived. She had drunk water before the match. She had been drinking water all afternoon. Sleep. I slept for 8 hours last night. I was sleeping when the phone rang. I had slept well before the trip. I had been sleeping for hours before the alarm rang. Buy. They bought a new bag yesterday. They were buying a new bag when I saw them. They had bought the bag before the sale ended. They had been buying things all morning before the store closed. Drive. He drove to the city yesterday. He was driving when it started to rain. He had driven to the city before lunch. He had been driving for 2 hours before he reached the city. Sing. She sang a song yesterday. She was singing when I entered the room. She had sung before the party started. She had been singing for an hour before the guests arrived. Dance. They danced at the party. They were dancing when the music stopped. They had danced before the food arrived. They had been dancing for 2 hours before the party ended. Meet. I met my friend yesterday. I was meeting my friend when it started raining. I had met my friend before the class started. I had been meeting friends regularly before I moved. Talk. He talked to his teacher yesterday. He was talking to his teacher when I came. He had talked to his teacher before class. He had been talking to his teacher for an hour before the lesson started. Help. She helped her brother yesterday. She was helping her brother when I arrived. She had helped her brother before the guests came. She had been helping her brother all morning.